Right now, a tense standoff is underway north of Paris. The two heavily armed suspects in the Charlie Hebdo massacre are holding one person hostage. They have told police they want to die as martyrs. The two suspects, Saeed and Sharif Kouachi, are holed up at a local printing company in Demartin. This is about 60 kilometers north of Paris. According to French media, they're holding the man who owns the company hostage. The entire town right now in lockdown. Hundreds of officers are surrounding the building, and police negotiators are in contact with them, hoping to end that standoff. Joining us live right now from Paris is Maclean's political editor, Paul Wells. Good morning, and thank you for joining us, Paul.
Hi, thank you.
Now, I know you landed yesterday and you were there. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. Of course, a day of mourning and various ceremonies that you attended.
Yes, there's this weird contrast between the feeling of mourning and the widespread sort of pensive sense among Parisians and everyone across France, and this extraordinary action that's happening right now as we speak, just northeast of Paris, where there's an armed standoff, helicopters hovering. They're bringing in buses to evacuate children from this little town. And in Paris yesterday, I visited the offices of Charlie Hebdo, which has become a kind of a shrine. People coming to leave candles and bouquets and little mementos and cards where they've written their thoughts and so on, and often leaving in tears. And at the Place de la République, where tens of thousands of people are now gathering every night to show that they won't be divided, they won't allow themselves to be scared or frightened off by these terrorist acts. So there's a lot happening here right now.
And Paul, as a journalist, what's the feel like for you? Have any Parisians come and talk to you, or has media talked to one another and joined in solidarity?
Well, there's a terrible sense that this was going to happen. This is hardly the first Islamist attack in France. There were metro bombings going back 20 years and even further. This is by far the worst, the deadliest. But there was this awful sense that there's something broken in the relations between immigrant communities and the larger society in France. And while obviously the great majority of Muslim citizens of France and other immigrants are peaceful, law-abiding, productive members of society, there are these neighborhoods where people can't get out, can't get a job, spend their lives there, and have almost decide eventually they had no alternative but to turn to violence. And people aren't sure how to fix that.
Paul, we have one more question for you. We just came across some new information in the last half hour that there could potentially be a link between yesterday's fatal shooting of an officer in Paris to the suspects in the massacre that happened at Charlie at the offices there at the magazine. Can you confirm anything? Have you heard anything on your end?
Well, this is what's going around today, is that the person who shot and killed a police officer yesterday in the south of Paris was another member of this group, des Bouts de Chaumont, a young group of young Muslim Parisians who got radicalized about 10 years ago after the photos out of Abu Ghraib in Iraq, and used to train, go jogging and do weapons training and stuff in this lovely park in the northeast of Paris. Now we know that the Kouachi brothers and this other guy who shot this cop yesterday were both members of that group a decade ago. Whether there's any further link, whether they planned and coordinated anything, there's no way to know that for now. But they do seem to have belonged to the same group a decade ago.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much. Stay safe. Appreciate your time here in Paris.
Thank you.